everyone. For this practice today, we are going to be practicing some Winter Wonderland yoga to get us ready for some cold and maybe snowy weather. For this practice, you may wish to have a blanket for some of the poses once we're seated at the end and for Shavasana. Otherwise, you should be all set. Just maybe your mat and some water or tea or something to get you nice and cozy. So let's come onto our mat and we'll start stretching. So for the majority of our practice today, we'll be facing the long edge of our mat. So if you'd like to stand right in the middle of your mat, facing the long edge, coming about hip distance apart. So again, hip distance apart is if we are feeling for our hip bones, those bony points right there, I found them. You can line up your hip bones with the middle of your feet, and that'll bring you to about a hip distance apart stance. So let's start there. And now you can come up on your toes, rock back on your heels, come back up on your toes, rock back. Just really noticing what that feels like underneath your feet. Coming up on your toes, rocking back on your heels. One more time, up on your toes and back on your heels. Good. Now root down into all four corners of your feet. Let's sweep our arms up. And as we breathe out, let's lower ourselves down into our forward fold. So for this forward fold, let's start and bend our left knee. So our left knee is bending, and crawl your fingers over to the right side now. So really getting into our legs here. We're going to be doing a lot of work with our legs, getting them nice and warm for the snow and the cold. And then crawl your fingers back to center, straighten your left leg, and then start to bend your right knee and crawl your fingers over to the left side. Just breathing into your right side, your left leg. Let your head get nice and heavy, like a big heavy snowball. And then crawl your fingers back to the middle, bend both of your knees, and just roll on up nice and slowly. Lead with the back of your heart. Loop your shoulders up, back, and down, and let your head come up last. I'm already feeling it in my leggies. Let's bring our legs together now for a quad stretch. So bring your legs all the way together. Take your right arm out to the side, your right hand, and then bend your right knee. Lift your foot behind you and catch your foot with your hand and hold your foot with the big toe side mound. So you're feeling your big toe against your hand. Squeeze both of your knees together. Try to keep both of your hips facing forward. And just try to direct your knee, your right knee, down towards the ground. And you might notice as you start to point your knee towards the ground and push your foot into your hand, you might notice a stretch in your quad. And if you feel any pain in your knee, that's okay. Just start to bring your knee forward a little bit. Really focusing on our legs nice and strong and pushing that foot into our hand. And then you can gently lower your right foot down, let your right arm go loose, and then bend your left knee. Bring your left foot behind you and catch your foot with your big toe. So push your foot into your hand. Try to bring your knee down towards your mat. Maybe look down at something in front of you to help keep your balance, because even this is tricky. This is tricky for balance. Keep squeezing your knees together. And then you can let your leg drop back down, maybe wiggle it out a little bit. Now we'll take our hands behind us. And I'm just gonna turn so you can see me. So we want our arms to be as straight as we can get them. If your elbows are feeling a little uncomfortable doing that, that's okay. You can keep a little bend in your elbows. We want to imagine we're holding a beach ball behind us, and we want to hold it so we're squeezing our arms together, trying to keep them as straight as we can. So keep lifting up through the center of your chest, root down in your feet. Keep lengthening up your sides. Squeeze that beach ball. You'll probably feel your arms really nice and strong right now. One more breath in. One more breath out. And then let your arms get nice and loose. Come back to mountain, so our feet hip distance apart. Let your arms relax by your sides. We'll do 3 rainbow breaths. So as we inhale, sweep our arms up our sides all the way up. Maybe our fingers touch at the top. And as we breathe out, sweep your arms back down your sides. Breathe in, sweep your arms up. Let your shoulders relax. Get nice and long through your sides. And breathe out, sweep your arms back down. Last one, maybe look up as your arms go up. And breathe out, let your arms sweep back down. Awesome. I think we're ready for some Winter Wonderland yoga. Are you? All right, let's get into it. Feet hip distance apart. Reach your fingers down towards your mat. Draw your tailbone down slightly so it's pointing down towards your mat, so you get nice and strong in your tummy. Feel your chest open. Maybe bring your gaze up a little bit. This is snow person. So our arms can reach down, or depending on how we make our snow person, you can maybe reach your arms out to the sides. Snow person's ready to give you a hug. Maybe start bending your arms different ways depending on how your snow person is. All right, place your hands on your hips. Start to bend your knees. So bend your knees and send your hips back behind you. All right, so our tailbone is still reaching down towards the ground. Keep both of your feet rooted in down to the ground. Maybe more weights going back in your heels. Now imagine now that we have our beach ball in between our knees and we're squeezing our knees together. We're squeezing our inner thighs, really getting nice and strong in our legs and our tummy. Now start to reach your arms out in front of you. This is our skier. So you can have ski poles if you'd like, and start skiing back and forth with your poles. Keep reaching up through the sides of your waist, or you can tuck your poles underneath your arms. Maybe gaze down at a spot a little bit in front of you. Keep reaching up through the top of your head. Maybe start swerving back and forth. Oh, we're going so fast. All right, reach your arms out in front. Straighten your legs, come on up. Put your hands on your hips. Here we go, this is a fun part. We're off of our skis now. Now we're gonna jump or step our legs out wide. So you choose, step or jump your legs out wide. Now reach your arms out by your sides, and you want your best. You want to try and line up the outer edges of your ankles with where your wrists are. So if your legs aren't there, that's okay. Or if it feels uncomfortable, like they're too wide, that's fine. Whatever works for you. Just know that wider legs will give you a more stable base. So keep that in mind. All right, we have our long legs, long wide legs. Turn your heels in and your toes out, maybe to the corners of your mat, and start to bend your knees. Bend your knees. Still plant your feet down into the ground so you feel all corners of your feet rooted down. Press into the outer edges of your feet to help widen your knees, and bring your arms up like goalposts or cactus arms. Our snowflake. Maybe like rock back and forth, just swaying with the wind. Now straighten your arms and your legs for a star. Oh, so pretty. Maybe look up at the sky. Now bend your knees and your elbows. Come back down to our snowflake. Root down into your pelvis as you lift up through your sides. Get nice and strong. Snowflake. And then straighten your legs and your arms for star. Breathe in, sink down into snowflake. Breathe out, come back up to star. One more time. Breathe in, come down into your snowflake, so graceful. And breathe out, straighten up into your star. Wonderful. Bring your hands to your hips. Now turn your right toes out to the back of your mat. So completely pointing to the back of your mat. Take your left foot and turn it now so your heel is kind of pointing to the back corner of your mat, right? So that back corner right there. We want to line up our front heel with the middle of our back foot. So move around depending on where you are. Front of our heel cuts the middle of our back foot, all right? Now, once you're there, start to bend your right knee. Bend it, keep it tracking over your ankle so it's not turning in or turning out. It's nice and strong and rooted. Root down into your feet. Root down to the outer edge of your left foot especially. Keep dropping your pelvis down. Sink into your legs and reach your arms out nice and wide. Let your shoulders relax. Maybe look over your right fingers. Now we're snowboarders here. So imagine that you're going down a really steep hill. Ah! Hopefully we wouldn't be screaming. Move down, move back. Still feeling nice and strong in our core. Now we're gonna go up a hill, so slowly lift your right fingers up. Keep reaching up, reach up. And then as you breathe out, bring your right fingers back. Put your hands on your hips. Straighten your right leg, and then let's turn our toes to face the long edge of our mat. All right. Coming back to our snowflake. Turn your heels in, your toes out. Bend your knees. Sink on down. Yeah. Cactus arms. Keep, as you breathe in, root down into your pelvis. And as you breathe out, straighten your knees, straighten your arms. For star. Breathe in. Keep pushing your knees out nice and wide. And breathe out. Star. Good job. Now we're going to take our left toes. We're going to be snowboarder on the other side. Take your left toes and now point them towards the short edge of your mat. So front or back edge, wherever that is to you. Now take your right heel and pivot it so it starts to point towards the back corner of your mat, right? So your toes, if we're looking at a clock, your toes would probably be at about like 2 o'clock-ish. So at a diagonal. And again, we want to take our front heel and cut our back foot right in the middle. So start to bend your left knee once you're there. Bend your left knee. Keep your right leg nice and straight. Sink down into your legs. Root down into your pelvis. Start to feel that lifting up through the tops of your chest. And spread your arms out nice and wide. Maybe look over your left fingers. Snowboard. Keep lifting up through the top of your head. Ready to dodge anything. Oh no, there's a tree. Here we go up the hill. Ready? Reach your fingers up. Reach up as you bend into your knee. Reach up. And then bring your left fingers back. Bend into your knee a little bit deeper. I know you can. And then bring your hands on your hips. Straighten your left leg. Turn your toes to face the long edge. And your choice again, either step or jump your legs together. All right. Face the front of your mat, so the short edge. And come into hip distance apart, so our snow person or a mountain. All right. We're gonna get nice and strong into our left leg. So feel nice and strong in your left leg. Take your right arm out to the side, like you're holding a tray. Then bend your right knee and catch your foot, big toe side with your hand. Does this sound familiar? Find your point on the ground, your point of balance, and stay here. Stay here squeezing your knees together, feeling nice and strong in your legs, rooting down into your left foot, pushing your foot into your hand, or you can start to extend your left hand up towards the sky. Stay here, working on your balance, or start to kick your foot even more into your left or your right hand. So much that as you kick back, you start to lift up, kick back and up. Reach out with your left hand. Ice skater. And if you fall, that's okay. We fall on the ice or not on ice plenty of times. Keep kicking up and back, up and back. Feel your shoulder get nice and open. One more breath in, one more breath out. And then bring your knees back together. Reach up with your left fingers. And then let your right knee, your right foot drop back down. Nice and gently. Maybe rock side to side. Other side. So, you can stay as you are on your mat. Get your mountain legs, come into your snow person. Feel nice and strong in your right foot now. And take your left hand out to the side, again, just like you're holding a tray. Lift your left foot and catch your foot, big toe side, with your left hand. Squeeze your knees together. Find that point of contact, that balance point, and stay here. Or you can start to lift up through your right fingers up towards the sky. Feel nice and strong, nice and tall. Maybe start kicking back and up into your left hand as you reach forward with your right fingers. Kick back and up into your left hand as you reach forward with your right fingers. Feel your left shoulder open. Reach out through your fingers, root down into your right leg. Keep kicking back and up, back and up. And when you're ready, start to bring your knees back together. Reach up nice and tall with your right fingers. And then bring your left foot down and rock side to side. Ah, feels so good to dance and skate on the ice, huh? I love ice skating. When you're ready, you can make your way down into your mat. So sitting all the way down, extend your feet out nice and long in front of you. Let your sit bones melt into the ground. If this is uncomfortable for you, you can put a blanket or a block underneath your sit bones, kind of elevate you a little bit. Bring your legs together. You can flex your feet. And let your palms just gently place them on the sides of your hips. Let your shoulders relax. Maybe gaze just beyond your big toes. So our legs are nice and strong here too, just like with our ice skater. Our legs are hugging in together towards the midline, so our tummy's nice and strong and engaged for our sled ride. So maybe you're getting ready to go down a hill, maybe come forward a little bit slightly with your chest. Here we go. Keep lifting up through the top of your head. Sway from side to side as you sled down that crazy steep hill. One more breath here. One more breath out. And then you can start to bend your knees. Bring the soles of your feet together. Knees come out to the side. And you can lift your hips up and a little bit closer to your feet too, if that feels good. Wrap your fingers around your toes. Reach up through the top of your head. And you can stay here, feeling nice and tall, or you can start to round in your back if that feels okay for you. Let your head get nice and heavy down towards your feet. Taking a rest at a fire. Still feeling the warmth as we cool down. Take a couple of breaths into your inner thighs. You can even take your elbows and place them on the parts of your legs to help push out your knees a little bit more. And then when you're ready, you can lift back up, bring your knees together, and we'll come to sit on our heels. Bring your legs together, sitting on your knees. Place your hips on your heels for snowball or child's pose. And you can have your arms extended out, or you can let your arms rest by your legs, by your sides. Bring your forehead all the way down to the ground. If this is uncomfortable for you, you can either put a blanket so your forehead can rest on it, or you can place a blanket just on the tops of your heels to give you some extra cushion for your hips. So wherever you are, just relax in your snowball. Feel yourself get nice and round. Imagine as you breathe in, filling your whole back with air, making yourself even rounder. And as you breathe out, letting all of that air go, just sinking back down. Push your palms into your mat, lift yourself up. And then for one more, we'll come into a twist for our snowy owl or Hedwig. So still sitting on our heels for Thunderbolt. Take your left hand and place it on the outside of your right thigh. You can take your right fingers and tent them just beneath or behind your spine, so right behind you. Let your shoulders relax. Lift up through the top of your head as you breathe in. And as you breathe out, start to twist towards the right side. So hips are still facing forward, really focusing on this twist in our tummy, our spine. If it feels good, you can bring your gaze past your right shoulder. On your next breath in, bring your head back to center, unravel your torso, and then we'll take our right hand and place it on the outside of our left thigh. Prop your left fingers just behind your spine. As you breathe in, lift up through the top of your head, get nice and tall. And as you breathe out, let your shoulders relax and open and start to twist towards the left side. Still feeling nice and tall and long. Like our snowy owl friend, you may choose to bring your gaze past your left shoulder, looking behind you. Maybe giving a call, hoo, hoo. And then on your next inhale, bring your gaze back to center and bring your whole self back to center. Take your time now to come and lay down on your mat, on your back. You may choose to have a blanket, maybe a sweatshirt, as you may notice your body cooling down during Shavasana. Just bring yourself all the way down. Extend your legs and your arms nice and long. Maybe choosing to make a snow angel before resting in stillness. Just extending your arms and your legs, wherever they'd like to go today to rest. And we'll take a couple of moments here to let everything go, to feel the earth supporting us, and to rest in silence. Begin to deepen your breath, bringing yourself back to this space. Start to move your fingers and your toes, bringing movement back to your body. And taking time to turn on your right side. Maybe curl your knees into your chest for a moment. And then place your left palm down on the ground to help lift yourself up. And make your way to a comfortable seated position on your mat. Bring your palms together and place them in the center of your chest. Let your thumb tips touch your heart space. Close your eyes. And thank yourself today for taking space to have some fun with Winter Wonderland yoga, to breathe, and just to move and enjoy moving. And thank you all for taking the time to practice with me. The inner light in me sees and bows to the inner light in you.